If you want to get a new generation Mustang, chances are that in 2024 you've considered the brand new 2024 Mustang GT or the 21 through 23 Mustang Mach 1. Both cars have definitely their pros and cons. By watching this video, it will give you a better insight on how these cars compare side by side and how they compare behind the wheel. So stay tuned, sit back and enjoy. Let's answer the question, should you go with arguably one of the best S550 Mustangs, or should you skip the S550 generation and get the new S650 Mustang GT? Let's find out. We're gonna start with the Mach 1, and we're just gonna see this car. First came out the S550 in 2015. Now for 2018 they did refresh the car. You got a new hood. For the Mach 1 we get this unique grille. The Mach 1 also has a unique front bumper compared to the Mustang GT, and that is because we have oil coolers down there. I believe that one is for the engine and the passenger is for the transmission oil cooler. You do get a bigger radiator. I don't know if you can see it right there. And for the Mach 1, you know, you get this package. This car has a jet fighter gray. You get this special graphics on the Mach 1, and because this one has the jet fighter gray, you get this orange pinstriping. So I just think that it looks awesome from the front end. Definitely looks unique, and as an owner I could tell you that it stands out because I get a ton of compliments with this car. A lot of people love this car. Just take a look at the S650. So brand new for the new 24 Mustang. Ford redesigned this car. You get new fenders, you get a new hood, you get new headlights, you get a brand new front bumper. We have this brand new hood with functional heat extractor. A lot of people say that it looks a little bit like the Camaro, and I do agree, it looks a little bit like the Camaro, but it does make the car look nice and it looks cool. The roof exactly like the S550. Down below you get the grille, and the grille looks massive, but if you pay close attention, it's honestly not that big. They just painted all this silhouette right here, so it makes the mouth look bigger when it's really not that big. You get these two nostrils openings on the grille, and what's really cool, if you know about this car, is that this car has dual intakes. So it's breathing air just like a real horse. Because we don't have the performance package on this car, we don't get a big lip, but we get this smaller lip on the bottom of the bumper. Unfortunately, because again this is not the performance pack, this right here, it's blocked. That will be for, you know, oil coolers. Alright guys, so we have the side of the Mach 1. These are the base wheels for the Mach 1. However, we have the 6-piston Brembo brakes for the Mach 1. These are huge. Moving on along, we have the Mach 1 logo right there. We have the black striping with the orange pinstriping on the bottom. Also, as we move along, we could see the hunches on the back. Now, when we get to that car, we're gonna see that they're a lot more pronounced compared to the S550. But again, the lines of this car, they look beautiful. On the back bumper, they took the rear diffuser from the Shelby GT500. And what's really cool about the Mach 1 is that they give you these 4.5 dual tips right there, and it looks so cool, that rear diffuser. Also, if you know, we have a differential cooler right there. We're gonna move to the side. The first thing that we notice is the performance pack wheels. Now these are the performance pack wheels for the S550, not for the S650. So you can see they're a beautiful design, and this car does come equipped with the Brembo. I believe these are the 6-piston brakes, and that is an option for the new S650. Moving along, we got the 5.0 dash, which it was redesigned for the S650. See a little bit of like carbon fiber right there. Mirrors are exactly the same as my S550. The hunch is a lot more pronounced on this car compared to the S550. They're just bigger, a little bit bigger. And once you get on the back, the trunk of this car, it's flat. On the S550, it tends to come up a little bit. So that is something that I've noticed. A lot of people have talked about these tail lights, and I think they just look incredible. Ford did a really good job on this taillights, and I'll tell you why. All right, so if we step back here, you'll see that the taillights, they look straight, right? But what happens when we move to the side? They look completely different. They look with an angle. So you can see right there, they go like this. They went from straight to kind of like a construction sign. This sharp edge on the back of the car kind of looks like an Elantra a little bit, but looks different. This is a throwback to the 1967 back end. You got the GT badge right there. That's a way to tell that this, you're looking at a GT. The diffuser, they made it a lot bigger on the S650. Now, I don't know if I like it more because it's just a lot more pronounced compared to the S550. It's a lot like 50% of the rear bumper. So this car does not have the performance, the active exhaust where it actually will let you choose the modes like I have on my car. This has the single tip, but the owner did put a aftermarket H-pipe. So this car sounds really good. We're gonna crank it up in a little bit, and I'm gonna give you some reps so you'll be able actually to hear this. Alright guys, so this is the engine on the Mach 1. This is the Gen 3 COYOTE, and this one, when it was brand new in 2023, was making 480 horsepower and I believe 420 foot-pounds of torque. Now for 22 and 23 they drop it to 470, but all that they did was they put a carbon strap here, and I did remove mine, and that way you get the 480 horsepower back. So this car indeed does make 480 horsepower. So how do they get there? So for the Mach 1, they went ahead and they got you the GT350, the Shelby GT350 intake, the throttle body, and the intake manifold from the Shelby GT350. As you can see, we got a strut tower, reinforce the handling of this car, and yeah. Alright guys, so right here we have the Gen 4 COYOTE Mustang, and this one on this car, as you can see, good friend Ryan open up the intake so we can see how simple actually this one bolts. And we have Easter eggs right here. You want to pop this one? So we have 260, 289, all the cubic inches of the V8 Mustangs, which is awesome. And the big thing about this motor and the new Mustang is that they went with dual throttle bodies and dual intakes. Right, a lot of people were scared of that. I think Ford did a great job, and they probably put a ton of R&D into this car. For Mustang GT, I don't know if you guys remember the Gen 3, they had the big plastic surfboard. They cleaned it up for this car, and this looks a lot better. We're talking about power, we're looking at 480 horsepower, just because this car doesn't have the active exhaust. Still a lot of power, very similar to the Mach 1. So as we open up the door for the S650, we can see the door look very similar to the one on the Mach 1. However, they did change a little bit of the leather and compound. Also, we have this full carbon fiber, but if you see the switchgear, looks very similar to the S550. All right, I'm gonna make my climb inside. Keep in mind, I own that car, so I'm used to the S550. So sitting here, it looks completely different than what I'm used to on my car. And we have Ryan here. And Ryan, so are you gonna tell us, because you used to own an S550, tell me about this interior.
So pretty much I had a S550 a little while back. I loved the interior, I loved the car. Needless to say, when these came in, I seen these and I wasn't a huge fan until I kind of started driving it around. Now the display on this and just all the features that come together with the wireless charging pad, All the nice little features for the navigation, the Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, all that stuff with the digital dash, all the nice driving modes, all that stuff. I started to like the car a lot more, and it's just as fast, if not a little bit faster. They sound great, they handle a lot better. I think that the interior they did a really good job on. The AC seats, they work good, everything works good, and I haven't had an issue with it since. I mean, we're at 4,000 miles on it.
Alright, so the door feels about the same as my S550. Now the big deal with this car is gonna be the screen. Now the screen does not get on your way, so the dash is very low. So this is what I'm looking at. I'm looking out there, so the screen is actually not on my way. Right. Now, do I prefer this interior over my S550? Not so fast, but I do appreciate what Ford did here because all the technology that we have. That looks right there incredible. The graphics look a lot more clear than the ones found on my car. One thing that I noticed is the AC. The controls are right here. How do you feel about that? Do you get used to that?
Yeah, I kind of...
Because I love on mine is physical, so I'm able to switch it up all the time if I want to.
There was a lot of people that were upset about that.
Right.
But one of the coolest things is when you go to the sports bike.
Right.
So what this is going to do, it's going to bring up this.
The Mustang.
Yes.
I love to play with this.
Yep. So the creators of this is from Rocket League, and they did a great job on it.
Epic Games.
They can do a ton of different things.
Right.
Where you can change your cluster.
Show me that.
Track. If you just hit OK on there.
Right.
Okay. So you have everything on there. You have the sport mode. You have the Fox body mode from.
Show me that one, because a lot of people are gonna love that.
Yes, sir.
Wow, that's a Fox body, and it looks really like a Fox body.
Yep. All built-in gauges, all built-in temperature control.
Right, and you do have the performance track, right? So if you want to do your 0 to 60.
Correct.
All right, let's go to track apps.
Yes, sir.
So if you want to do this, so there you go. You have 0 to 30, 0 to 60, 0 to 100, 8th mile, quarter mile, automatic. So that's awesome.
Yeah, they actually made that a lot better, which I like.
Brake
it used
performance.
to be a little bit different, but
Right,
it's nice.
right.
And it still comes with the line lock as well.
Right, which is standard on all GTs.
Right.
And one thing that I noticed is that it connects without you having to plug in your phone.
Right. All wireless Apple CarPlay. As soon as you hop in, it pops right up. It knows if you want to go to work, if you want to go home.
Yeah, absolutely. It feels very comfortable here, and I'm not seeing a lot of glare on this car now. So we take it on the road. I'm gonna test that a little bit. So for this car, I forgot a little bit of the highlights. So brand new steering wheel, brand new sound. I don't know if it's picking it up. The mic should. So it sounds like a horse running,
right?
Which is kind of cool. I do like this steering wheel. I think I prefer over mine. It's a little bit smaller. I love the flat bottom.
Yep.
On the car. I do appreciate the selector, so I don't have to go to the selector. So on the steering wheel, I could access that right quick without ever, getting my hands out from the wheel. Feels good. It's very thick. I like the 9 and 3. Moving on, right here we have different vents compared to the S550. Kind of looks a little bit. This right here reminds me a little bit of the Camaro. That right here, and right below the push button start is completely different. So I don't know if you guys remember, the S550 was metal. It's not metal anymore, so it's different. And we have the pony traction control. So we eliminate all the driving selectors that I have on my car. Now this panel right here is what gets me a little bit upset about the S650. All of them, even the Dark Horse does that. Yeah. But it's nitpicking a little bit. So this car also has the 10-speed transmission and some little bit of that full carbon fiber, and they did get, unfortunately in my opinion, get rid of the e-brake, the manual e-brake. They went to the electronic, and the reason why they did that is because if you could, for the 24 Mustang, you could get the drift brake. That 10-speed is...
It moves.
It moved, yeah. So even from the that was from a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
It 80 miles per hour still pushing you on your seat.
I know.
Oh, it's not slouch. It's not slow.
A lot of people have claimed that they are slouches, and I'm here to say that I don't know.
I don't know neither. I don't know neither. It doesn't feel like it's at least the 10-speed.
Yeah, the 10-speed.
I don't know the manual, but the 10-speed, it's not slouch.
For sure, 100%.
I was on Mexico speed right there.
Yeah. And that's just the beginning too, which is so exciting to see, because everybody's super excited to start modifying these, and I've already seen a lot of people working on it.
There's people like on stock too. I know a lot of work on suspension and weight reduction, but they went either 10 or 9 on the quarter mile.
Yeah.
I think the guy that went on 9s was with nitrous. Still super, no
crazy.
Tuning, like factory tuning, no supercharger, nothing. And there was a guy, I think Stida did it too. They went 10s.
Yep.
All motor.
Yep. Shout out Stida.
Yeah.
Shout out Stida and Whipple.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, guys. So first time ever behind the wheel of an S650 Mustang. So this is very exciting for me. So first thing, setting off, no interruption whatsoever with the screens. U-turn right here. Okay, so I think first U-turn, the steering rack definitely shorter. I don't think I would have been able to make that turn on my S550. One of the big things that they say that they improved was the steering rack. So feels faster than the Mach 1. I think a little bit.
That's what I
The
think.
feel was supposed to be improved, and the rack is supposed to be 3% faster on the S650 versus the S550. That was one of the big things that they wanted to address on this car.
Yes.
And so it's 3% faster than the S550. And from my recall, just driving a regular S550 Mustang GT, this feels better.
Yeah.
Trans feels great.
Right.
I'm just going through the just shifting. We're in sport mode right now.
Right.
And if I give a little bit of gas, the downshift, it's immediate. That's just a little bit of it's pretty fast. Upshifts, maybe a quarter of a second, which is, I mean, this is not a dual clutch, so I don't see the complaint. Obviously, this is an automatic, but it's very smooth. This trans, it feels smooth. I can't comment on the S550 because I've never really spent time driving an S550 with a 10-speed.
Right.
So I can tell you that it's different. But from the complaints that I've heard, this makes sense. This feels awesome. So overall, it feels similar but different. And when I said different, I mean it in a good way. It feels like, okay, it's a Mustang, but there's something changed. And as you look inside, you could tell that there's a lot of changes. Driving with the Fox body gauges, which I love. Great throwback. I love the Mustang, it's keeping the heritage alive with the car, and it feels good. It honestly, it feels like a great car. Let me just pop you here so I could we're gonna test out a little bit of this acceleration. All right, so oh yeah, it's fast.
I think so, for sure.
Yeah, it's fast.
Imagine when the tuning comes out.
Oh yeah, it's quick.
It's gonna be one of the fastest out there for sure.
Yeah, it's quick. It throws you on the seat, and that was starting from like 2,000 RPMs.
Yeah, just rolling.
That was rolling into it. That wasn't even launching the car or anything.
Slides, nothing.
Yeah, it's
not completely stuck.
Like no drama whatsoever.
Yep.
It was funny to see those Fox bodies gauges going crazy.
Yeah.
Normally they wouldn't go as crazy on a stock Fox body, but on this car, it goes crazy.
For sure.
So yeah. But yeah, overall it's a great car. I don't know what else to say. Even though this one doesn't have the performance package, honestly I think I would skip the performance package if I'm daily driving it. Now, one thing that I love about my car is that I have the Magna Ride.
Right.
Let me just test out a little bit of this.
That is a good thing.
Yeah.
Magna Ride, it's good.
Yeah, you could actually notice how it feels.
Right.
Yeah, it pulls. And I was just testing the paddle shifting.
Right.
As soon as you click it, if your foot is to the floor, it'll switch. Overall, it's a great car. It's very comfortable. It's very quiet.
Yep.
So I think it's a little bit more refined than the S550.
Yeah.
I think that's what they really improved it.
They might have mastered it. I guess you could say.
Yeah. It's I don't know if they put more sound deadening, but it's just more quiet.
Yeah.
One big thing that I've noticed is, so my car hear a little bit of rattles here and there. It's very quiet, but you hear some rattles. I don't hear no rattles on this car.
Yeah.
This is like dead silent.
I heard one a little bit, but then that was it, and it is very quiet in here. Sometimes they use a dual panel glass on these cars, the newer ones, and it blocks sound.
Some of the sound,
other cars and stuff like that. But overall, I mean, it's a great daily driver. I love driving it to work every day, and that's one of the most important things about having a daily driver is do you like driving it or not? And who, it's fun having fun on the way to work, and
absolutely,
then getting off of work and having
it's
fun
fast.
Too, and
it's fast.
And everything.
It's fast. Yeah. A lot of things that I tell with when I compare this car to the new car is that this car it's a blend, right? You still got the digital dash where you could customize the way that it looks. Obviously, it doesn't have the fancy graphics and all the fancy things that your car does, but this car it still has a lot of the stuff. You have the 8-inch infotainment on this car. You still got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, but it's a lot smaller. The resolution, even put the camera, it looks dated. Right.
It's the dark horse of 23, pretty much.
Exactly. So we're gonna start.
That you can tune and make bets.
I'm gonna start normal. Start normal. So normal on this car, this car obviously is a Mach 1, and again, this is the base Mach 1. When I mean base, it doesn't have the HP package. This car does have the premium package. So we have leather seats, we have AC on the chairs. You start up normal. All Mach 1s come with Magna Ride, so that's gonna allow you to adjust the suspension. So right now it's just very soft.
It feels good.
Yeah, it feels good. It's very comfortable. It's very relaxed. The steering feel is gonna be relaxed. It's gonna be in the softest setting. And Mach 1, the great thing about it is that you get the active exhaust. So you have 4 modes. You have quiet, you have sport, and this is all standard, by the way. All that I'm saying is standard. When you go with the Mach 1, you get the active exhaust. You get the Magna Ride, which again standard, and it is noticeable once you drive it. You could actually feel like the body roll gets eliminated, which is really cool. And you heard that was a rev match.
Yeah, the rev match is really nice.
I downshifted,
especially with the strut bars too, and all that stuff.
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. You get a lot of reinforcement with the Mach 1. So the suspension of the Mach 1, as I tell people, is the same as a Shelby GT350.
Right.
So think about the Mach 1. This is a Shelby without the Voodoo, without the 5.2 flat crankshaft.
Exactly.
So that's what that's what this car is. It's basically a Shelby, but with the Coyote and a lot of the Shelby parts. What I mean, a lot of the Shelby parts, like for example, the subframe on the back is from the Shelby GT500.
Right.
So that's cool.
Right.
You get all the coolers from the 350, from the Shelby GT350.
Right.
You have an engine oil cooler. You have a transmission cooler. You borrow the Tremec from the Shelby GT350.
Right.
So you're getting a lot of stuff from the Shelby with the Coyote, and it was the first time that this was implemented on a Coyote.
I think actually this is also since 2023.
Right.
It's one of the 50th like anniversary Mach 1s, because I had a guy come in that had a 1973 Mach 1.
Oh yeah, that's
he bought one, you know,
right.
and they're just awesome. They feel so good, especially when you're cornering and everything.
Yeah, the handling is amazing, man. I'm telling you, it's actually, I don't know if you know this, but Car and Driver, they tested out a Mach 1 on the track, and it was actually around a racetrack. It was actually faster than the Shelby GT350R.
Very nice.
So and that's considering the Mach 1 is heavier.
Right.
It has less horsepower, 480 versus 526.
Right.
And the Mach 1 was actually faster.
Yeah. Suspension is big.
Suspension is huge.
Big.
Alright, so I'm gonna do a little quick pull right here, second gear. But yeah, man, just cruising down the highway.
Very smooth.
This is just and again, now the I put it on my mode, by the way, and the Magna Ride is already active and stiff, and it still feels.
I like
it's nice. You know what I like about the Mach 1, and I always tell this to people, is that when you buy a Mach 1 or a Shelby or a GT500, whatever the case may be, you're buying a limited production Mustang. So the depreciation is gonna be slower on a car that has a unique chassis, and it comes certified and all that, and it's more rare, right? Because they build a lot less of these cars. So that's one thing to consider if you're considering the 24 versus the 23.
Right.
Are you gonna daily it? If you're gonna daily it and you like the S650, I'll say get the S650. But if you're not, think about the depreciation. The Mach 1 will hold their value a lot better than the S650, because Ford is just gonna build a ton of GTs.
Yeah.
Right? Yep. They do that every single year.
Yeah.
Mach 1s, they only build them for 3 years, and they're limited production car. So unless you really want the new styling, just think about that. I would like to really give a huge shout out to Ryan. He's the owner of this awesome red 2024 Mustang GT. He's also a Ford salesman at Sunrise Ford in Fort Pierce, Florida. If you're looking for a new or used Ford product, please give a call to Ryan. You can find his info in the description box down below, and tell him that the MG channel sent you. He's an awesome guy, and he's looking forward to helping you out on your next car purchase. I really hope that you found this video helpful and informative. If this is your first time stopping by, please consider subscribing. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.